If you're ready to partake in a little haunting, then you've come to the right place. We're about to focus on the 24 Ghost Mastery abilities, including an in-depth look at what they do, before I then give them a personal rating out of 5 that you absolutely don't have to agree with. Overall, I was really impressed with these powers, and just a quick heads up that we're strictly looking at Ghost Mastery powers here, rather than the basic powers that all ghosts have for simply existing, or the unique powers that a ghost can be granted based on their cause of death. Also keep in mind that even living sims will have access to these abilities should they temporarily turn into a ghost, for example by having an out-of-body experience. So really, all your sims can make use of Ghost Mastery abilities in some way. And with that, we're going to start out with the evil abilities, which using will often grant your sim some fear essence, before progressing to the neutral abilities, and then finishing up with the good ghost abilities, which often will provide your sim with some goodwill essence. Let's begin with Spooky Spectacle, which simply requires your ghost sim to be the entry Wispling rank, and this unlocks 2 interactions. Firstly, the Ghostly Bang sees your sim unleash a big ghostly stomp, which gives nearby living sims a small uncomfortable moodlet. Then there's the ability to flicker room lights, which will see them briefly turn a red color, and then leave nearby living sims with a small scared or tense moodlet. I'd give this a 2 out of 5. It's definitely fun to use for storytelling, but not hugely impactful. Now we'll look at another Wispling rank ability, being Conjuror. Using this, we'll see your ghost sim summon a whole range of crap on the floor, from trash to puddles of water, slime creatures, ecto puddles, muddy puddles, diapers, pet poop, and more. I do think what other DLC you have can impact on what you're able to spawn, with 1 piece of trash spawning for each cast. Also note that you'll take a hit to your relationship with any sim who watches on as you conjure up random trash around them. But on the flip side, you can potentially give yourself a small happy moodlet. I mean, if you're happy, does it really matter if everyone hates you? On the whole, I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. I think the variety of trash you spawn makes it really chaotic and fun to use. I mean, who doesn't love trashing a house or community lot in seconds? Plus, muddy puddles and slime creatures can even cause sims to slip walking over them and have their hygiene need plummet, which I do find very satisfying to watch. Moving on now to Object Manipulation. This requires you to be an Ethereal Novice ghost and already have the Spooky Spectacle ability unlocked. Firstly, it allows you to perform a sinister haunt on a wide range of objects, which will increase your sim's fun or spooky diversions need, and also leave sims who watch on with a scared moodlet and possibly even lead to them peeing their pants as well. Love that for them. Then you can also haunt musical instruments, which again increases your sim's fun need and also trains up their instrument skill while leaving sims watching on with a scared moodlet and sometimes making them run out of the room. That is, unless they're of child age or younger, in which case they'll just find the haunting amusing and gain a small playful moodlet instead. Overall, I'm giving this a 3, because while it's fun to use, sims can already possess objects and play instruments, so it's just slightly expanding on what they can already do, and I guess letting them do both at the same time. Now let's look at Dark Presence, which again requires your ghost sim to be an Ethereal Novice. This allows your sim to emit both a distressing aura and an emotional aura. These share a cooldown and can only be used once every 4 hours. When used, your sim will get a +5 negative moodlet for 2 hours, and nearby sims will experience a +2 of that same type of moodlet when they're close by to your ghost sim who's emitting the aura. Letting out a distressing aura can lead to uncomfortable, tense, or scared moodlet auras, while letting out an emotional aura can lead to sad or angry moodlet auras. Sims will noticeably react to the effects of these auras too, which is a nice touch. Overall, I'd give this a 2 out of 5. While you do negatively affect the mood of sims around you, feeling the moodlet very strongly yourself in many cases makes you want to use this a lot less. On top of this, ghosts with this ability can sometimes use it autonomously, which can be a little annoying. Like, why'd you go make yourself sad for no reason? Though I guess you could also argue that this makes the power a lot more unique. Next up is Haunting Shriek. To unlock this, your ghost sim will need to have unlocked object manipulation and also be at least a rank 3 Phantasmal Ascendant ghost. This skill can be actioned on a sim or on yourself, and it'll affect every sim in the room. This gives surrounding sims a tense or scared moodlet, with it also having a high chance of making the sims it affects pass out. Another potential reaction is for sims to get an embarrassed moodlet and then pee their pants. I know, so much drama, and the variation in the drama is a chef's kiss moment. Plus, on top of this, it'll increase your sim's fun or spooky diversions need as well. I'm giving this a 4 out of 5 because it feels like peak chaos. Now let's look at Dream Corruptor, which also requires your ghost sim to be at least Phantasmal Ascendant rank. This can be used on a sleeping sim to essentially give them a nightmare and have them wake with a scared moodlet while also boosting your own sim's fun need. Just keep in mind that doing this on a loved one will lead to both you and the target sim getting a sad moodlet. Overall, I'm just giving this a 2 out of 5, as unless you have a household enemy, it can be a little bit tricky to find random sims you don't like who are sleeping to then use this on. Let's continue on to Levitator. To unlock this, your ghost sim will need to have unlocked Haunting Shriek and also be at least a rank 4 Spectral Luminary ghost. This will see your ghost sim levitate and shake the target sim, gaining some fun need, a few simoleons from their pockets, and potentially a small happy moodlet, while also leaving the sim you shook with a strong +4 angry moodlet or potentially a dazed moodlet instead. Also be prepared to fight sims after levitating them because they'll be angry. In addition to this, on occasion levitated sims can sometimes drop select items from their inventory too, for example books or gemstones, which is just so cool and kind of lets you rob them of more than just simoleons. I'm giving this a 5 out of 5 because it's really fun and the ability to take things from a sim's inventory is highly unique too. Now we need to focus on Devourer, which again requires your sim to be at least a Spectral Luminary rank ghost. This power has a couple of parts to it. Firstly, you can drain any of a target sim's needs to lower them, or alternatively you can absorb a target sim's energy, fun, hunger, or social need to not only lower the target sim's need, but increase your own. Both draining and absorbing a sim's need can only be performed on a particular sim once every 6 or so hours. However, this cooldown is per sim, and so you can use this power back to back on different sims should you wish to. Also, side note, this will often leave the target sim dazed, and absorbing different needs will give the casting sim various positive moodlets. These abilities will also be more effective on sims who are scared, and additionally be warned that using this on a sim you're close to can leave you with a sad moodlet. The second part of this power is the ability to siphon life essence from a sim, which will make the target sim age a day. This interaction can be cast repeatedly on different sims, but has a 24-hour cooldown on being repeatedly used on the same sim. The target sim will also be left with a sad moodlet, and know that if the ghost who uses this is close to the target sim too, then they'll also be given a sad moodlet. Overall, I'm giving this a 5 out of 5, as I do feel like it's two rather strong powers in one. I guess a minor improvement suggestion would be if there was an option to do a greater life essence siphon as well to age a sim by 3 or 5 days, but really this is just me nitpicking. Finally, we have the Otherworldly Curse, which isn't unlocked through experience points, but rather by having your ghost be the top Transcendent Wraith ghost tier and repeatedly performing evil ghost abilities until they unlock it. This has two parts. Firstly, your ghost sim will be able to cast the Otherworldly Curse on other sims, which gives the target sim a strong scared moodlet that lasts for 12 hours and sees a purple skull-like aura emanate from around them for the duration. This curse is tied to the moodlet, and it'll make aspects of your sim's life more difficult for its duration. For example, it'll drastically lower how fast a sim gains skill experience, and even significantly lower how quickly they craft things. While a little annoying, it's also temporary, and so personally I didn't find it to be too disastrous. A side note is that sims can also make a wish at the Well of Longing and Regret for a chance to remove this curse and the scared moodlet tied to it earlier. Then a smaller second part of this power is that your sim will also be able to apply the Mark of Evil tattoo on themselves, themselves. I honestly couldn't find this tattoo at first, and I have to give a thank you and a shout out to Sage Ardor, who let me know while I was streaming that the mark appears on a Sim's arm. It's tricky to see, but it's definitely there. Overall, I'm giving this power a 3 out of 5. It's okay, but I just expected a little bit more from it. Now let's move on to the neutral ghost powers. Starting with Ghostly Traverse. This only requires you to be a Wispling rank ghost and has two rather different parts. The first part is Traversing, which lets you ghostly teleport anywhere and everywhere you could possibly want to go in seconds. This is a massive time saver when traveling from place to place, and spamming Traverse is also a decent way to gain Ghost Mastery experience. Then the second part is Spectral Unlock, which allows you to enter into any house without needing to be let in. Overall, I'm giving this a 4 out of 5 because it's essentially 2 powers in one, and because Traverse kinda feels like a must-have for getting around easily. Moving on now to Transcendent Woohoo, and again this only requires your sim to be a Wispling ghost. This allows your ghost sim to woohoo any sim, even living, inside a huge range of different objects. And for some reason, having Sims woohoo in the most random places while Sims are just chilling nearby gives me life. I especially love how no one reacts, like the lounge is floating friends, but you don't care. I am giving this a 5 out of 5 simply because it's so much fun to play around with. Pun intended. It of course also brings some rather chaotic energy, and on top of this, something about the human sim's temporary transformation into a ghost just feels a little bit cute. Let's keep going and take a look at the Fear of the Night, which requires your ghost to be at least a rank 2 Ethereal Novice. This suggests that it will enhance or alter the effects of your sim's ghostly powers at nighttime, often seeing powers lead to more intensely negative moodlets. On top of this, you'll get more Fear Essence when scaring other sims, and as Fear Essence can be sold to merchants for 5 simoleons a pop, it does make tormenting other sims with ghost powers a little bit more profitable, though not really profitable enough to make a career from it. My main problem with this power is that from playing with it a bit, its effects just didn't feel all too meaningful, and while the Fear Essence boost was sometimes noticeable, other times it just felt like the standard. It certainly wasn't a big enough boost to make haunting other sims a stable source of income. I'm giving this a 1 out of 5 because from my experience it just feels a little lackluster. Now we'll move on to Spectral Slumber, which again requires your ghost to be at least a rank 2 Ethereal Novice. This power allows your ghost sims to have a spectral slumber in a wide range of objects, and a spectral slumber will increase both a ghost sim's energy need and their ghost stamina at the same time. The ghost stamina boost is hugely helpful as it does replenish rather slowly without this skill. Overall, I'm giving this a 3 out of 5. It's a decent ability that pretty much any ghost will make use of from time to time. Moving on now to Suppress Living Needs, which requires your ghost sim to be at least a rank 3 Phantasmal Ascendant. Picking up this will slow down the decay of your ghost sim's hunger, bladder, and hygiene needs. While definitely noticeable, I wouldn't say this is groundbreaking, however you can upgrade this ability with a further experience point to become Transcend Living Needs, and this completely grays out the hunger, bladder, and hygiene need bars so that your sim never needs to worry about them again. Overall, I'm giving this a 3 out of 5. It's time to look at the final neutral ghost ability called Powerful Endurance, which requires you to be at least a rank 4 Spectral Luminary Ghost. Put simply, this reduces how much ghost stamina each ghost ability uses, and from my testing, it cuts the amount used by about half, meaning you can use double the amount of abilities before running out of ghost stamina. I'd give this a 3 out of 5. It's definitely a nice ability to have, but it really just lets you spam more ghost abilities. We've caused chaos and looked at all things neutral. And now let's continue and see what good your sim can do as a ghost. Let's start with Solace Embrace, which just requires your ghost sim to be the entry Wispling rank. This ability has 2 key parts. Firstly, you'll be able to use Detect Current Mood on non-household members to find out what mood someone is in. Secondly, provided your friends or family with a sim, you'll be able to use the Solace Embrace ability on them. This will give the target sim a +3 happy moodlet for 4 hours and also completely remove any negative moodlets impacting them, making it hugely powerful. Also, side note, this ability will even remove the Otherworldly Curse from a sim. There's a per sim cooldown of 24 hours on using Solace Embrace. However, it can be used without delay on different sims. Overall, it's super cute and honestly a really powerful ability, and I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. Now let's move on to Dispeller, which again just requires your ghost to be Wispling rank. This allows you to dispel all forms of trash, including puddles and other junk from floors. And yes, you can dispel trash from trash cans as well to empty them. On top of this, if sims are nearby when you dispel trash or puddles, then doing this will improve your relationship with them too. I'm giving this a 3 out of 5 because while fun, it's also just glorified ghost cleaning. Now let's look at Euphoric Presence, which requires your ghost sim to be a rank 2 Ethereal Novice. This allows your sim to emit happy, assuring, and fun auras. These auras share a cooldown and can only be used once every 4 hours. When used, your sim will get a +5 positive moodlet for 2 hours, and nearby sims will experience a +2 of that same type of moodlet when they're close by to your ghost sim who's emitting the aura. As you'd expect, letting out a happy aura can lead to a happy moodlet aura, or even an energized moodlet aura. Then letting out an assuring aura can lead to an inspired or confident moodlet aura. Finally, letting out a fun aura will lead to either a playful or flirty moodlet aura. Overall, I'd give this a 3 out of 5, as it's a great way to change up your own mood and keep other sims around you happy. On top of this, putting sims in a playful moodlet can cause a little bit of drama as well by nudging sims towards being hysterical, which can lead to death. Next, we're going to move on to the maintenance abilities, of which there are 3 tiers, being Novice Maintenance, Adept Maintenance, and finally Expert Maintenance. Each tier costs an experience point, meaning that it costs 3 experience points to unlock Expert Maintenance. While all 3 of these ability tiers unlock the same powers, their chance of success greatly increases as your ghost sim ascends the tiers. With this, you'll be able to instantly clean, instantly repair, and also instantly upgrade objects, the latter fully installing every single upgrade possible in seconds without needing any of the upgrade parts. Yes, very broken, and also yes, it's pretty much the same as the handy reward trait for completing the Nerd Brain aspiration. Only just be warned, because if you have the Eco Lifestyle expansion pack, then the ghostly upgrade will also install Eco Lifestyle upgrades, which may be unwanted. I mean, unless you desire to have your toilet repeatedly catch fire, which I'm sure in some cases some of us do. You can repeatedly upgrade objects should you fail, but if you succeed, then there's a 4-hour cooldown before you can instant upgrade another object. Know that when you've advanced the power to a tier 3 expert maintenance, then the cleans, repairs, and upgrades are all guaranteed. This being said, I don't know if it's worth 3 experience points. I think the first tier is worth picking up, and then I would suggest holding off on the next 2 until further down the track. Overall, I'd give this a 3 out of 5. On one hand, it's hugely helpful, but I can't help but feel it doubles up on the basic ghostly repair that all ghosts can use on objects even without this power, while also overlooking eco lifestyle upgrades and treading on the toes of the handy reward trait from the Nerd Brain aspiration. It's time to progress to Dreamweaver, which requires your ghost sim to be of at least a rank 3 Phantasmal Ascendant. You can use this on any sleeping sim, and doing this will provide them with a happy moodlet. While this moodlet's active on a sim, they'll significantly increase the rate at which they restore energy while sleeping. Overall, I'm giving this a 3 out of 5. Then there's Grimm's Ride or Die, which once again requires your ghost to be of at least a Phantasmal Ascendant rank. With this, you'll be able to save any sim from death with the Save a Life interaction. When the Grim Reaper comes to reap, all you need to do is select this, which will see your sim give Grim a dab before the deceased sim is resurrected. It's pretty neat, and I'd give this a 3. I think it's a fitting ghost power, though at this stage there's already heaps of ways in the game to save sims from death. Next up is Afterlife Quality Insurer, which requires you to be at least a Spectral Luminary rank ghost. This power allows you to improve the quality of crafted things, such as paintings, woodworking objects, or even food, elevating them up a quality rank. Notably though, while this will boost their quality, it won't change their value. And also note that you can only bring objects up to excellent quality. So no, not even your ghostly powers can turn bad art into a masterpiece. You can also use this power to nurture plants, instantly boosting their quality up a rank. And with no cooldown on this ability, it means that it's a very easy way to boost your plants up to a perfect quality in seconds. And from my perspective, this is the biggest benefit of this power. Finally, you can even use this ability to restore spoiled food and make it fresh and ready to be chowed down on once again. Honestly, it's a rather strong ability that can be used in many ways and even lead to riches with perfect quality produce. So I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. Let's continue on to Altruistic Caretaker, which again requires you to be a rank 4 Spectral Luminary Ghost. This power has two parts to it. Firstly, you can choose to give another sim energy, fun, or social to transfer some of your own needs to them, essentially sacrificing your ghost sim's needs to boost another's. This has a 24-hour cooldown per sim, however it can be used repeatedly if used on different sims. Also note that if you aren't at least friends with the sim that you're trying to help, then they'll reject your offer to give them your needs. Then the second part of this power is the ability to bestow longevity onto a sim, which has no cooldown and will make a sim 1 day younger, essentially extending their life. Once again, you need to at least be friends with the target sim to be able to bestow longevity onto them. And on top of lowering their age by a day, it will also provide you with a small happy moodlet and the target sim with an energized moodlet. Overall, I'm giving this a 5 out of 5 as it really just lets your ghost positively influence everyone around them in a pretty big way. I do wish bestowing longevity maybe lowered a sim's age by a couple of days at a time, just so it didn't need to be spammed as often. Finally, we have Benevolent Blessing, which isn't unlocked through experience points, but rather by having your ghost be the top tier of Transcendent Wraith and repeatedly performing good ghost abilities until they unlock it. This has two parts. Firstly, your ghost sim will be able to cast the Benevolent Blessing on other sims, which gives the target sim a +4 happy moodlet that lasts for 12 hours, and sees a sparkling golden and slightly green aura emanate around them for the duration. On top of this, it'll provide a small relationship boost with the target sim. This blessing is tied to the moodlet, and it'll make aspects of your sim's life way easier for its duration. I'd say the biggest perk is that it significantly increases skill gain and even the speed at which your sims craft objects for its duration, making it really helpful for doing things like painting. A small second part of this power is that your sim will also be able to apply the Mark of Good tattoo on themselves. Once again, this tattoo appears on a sim's arm. Overall, I'm giving this power a 4 out of 5. It's a neat power, and the increased skill gain it provides a sim with can be really helpful. And that's every ghost mastery ability explained and rated. Feel free to check out my videos on other occult powers if you liked this, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. See you later!